So tell us a time when you've had to try and keep the faith in a time of doubt, and what was part of the journey to get into keeping that faith, essentially.
I mean, I'm always doing like you ask this question, like, was there a moment where you have had doubt? And now you're like, I have no doubt. Listen, hey there. As somebody who's like intellectual and thinking all the time, like there's not a day when I'm not having to like work on something. Like there's lots of days when actually the beauty of life and the beauty of moments of great joy make me so much more aware of God and so much more aware of the goodness of life, so much more aware of God's kindness and faithfulness. And those days are the easy days. But a lot of the time, I'm really wrestling with doubts. I'm wrestling with doubts about my life, what I'm doing, is it the right thing? I'm wrestling with doubts around this thing I'm reading in the Bible, what do I do with this? You know, I'm wrestling with, is God even hearing me when I pray? I'm wrestling with, look at the state of the world. Is God really almighty or powerful? Look at the state of things. And I'm wrestling with all kinds of doubts most of the time. But there's one thing that I think I've probably learned, and this is only because I've done the opposite so many times, is that it doesn't help me to withdraw from God. Like I do this all the time before, you know, I'm struggling with doubts. So let me just like forget about my prayer life. And let me just throw myself into work or distract myself with a relationship, or just like, you know, just and none of that helps me to find myself. None of that helps me to find the path forward. So I think withdrawing never helps. But for me, wrestling with doubt is an ongoing thing. But I think that for me, what I've realized is that doubt is an important part of faith. I heard someone say once that the opposite of faith isn't doubt, it's certainty. And what they meant was that faith by its nature requires that we continue to walk with God even when we're not sure what's going on, even when we don't know how it's going to work out, even when we don't know whether we're even following the right voice, whether we're just trying and we're putting one foot in front of the other. That's the nature of faith. So when you get to the point where you feel like you have it all sorted and you've got all the lines crossed and the thing, it's more time you're relying on your own understanding, more time you're relying on just the very neat boxes somebody gave you that you're holding on to, but are not a reflection of the reality of life. So for me, I've realized that me doubting about these things is it's not a problem for my faith. It's part of faith. But it's actually just that I continue to walk with God. Lots of people hide in uncertainty. They pretend that they're certain. And it's those people who, when you talk about your doubt, they say, just keep on saying this. And it's like, or maybe we should talk about the doubt.
Let's
or maybe we should be honest about what we're dealing with instead of pretending, you know. And I think certainty can become this pretense, this false image that we present to ourselves or to God or to others. And that's the opposite of faith. Faith says, I'm going to go even though I'm not sure. That's the very nature of faith.